What should we do?
Unc will help us. Welcome to the first episode of the Unc Podcast. I'm Unc. That's Cam. And we're going to get right into it today. The topic is, should you date a single mom? Let's start with Cam. What do you think, Cam? Should you date a single mom?
Well, let's start off first off with the fact that single mothers, nothing's wrong with dating a single mother. The problem is that situation it's a situation basis. You see, you gotta understand that some people are just not built for relationships, period, and that's why they end up getting themselves becoming a single mother. Now, at the same time, though, not all single mothers are built the same. But let's go with the statistics of generalistic knowledge. So the generalistic knowledge of statistics states that single mothers always have some sort of thing with them where they're just not agreeable for some odd reason. They're just not agreeable.
Now,
it's hard to get along with.
Do you think that has anything?
I've only found.
But do you think that has anything to do with, in the sense that of the reason why they're single? Do you think that's because typically a man, if he finds himself having a kid with an agreeable woman, he wouldn't end up removing himself from that situation? That's my thoughts. You agree with that?
That's a fact. That's a fact. Because most dudes will put up with more than what a female is willing to pull up with just to have the relationship stay. Because they might not agree with a lot of stuff that a female does, but the overall for them is what it is. You know what I'm saying? The female may have an actual goal or a game to have that's a mark of success in the relationship for them. For the dude, is just, I have a good girl. That's rock with me. That's all that dudes really want.
Uh-huh. Now, Levi Nix, one of the channels I watch, he says dating a single mom is like playing blackjack and hitting on 20. And I feel that right there. Because it's like, you might win. You might hit that ace. You might, and the dealer might have had 20. So realistically, you might have needed that ace. So there's a situation. You playing blackjack. You hit on 20, right? Boom, you get an ace. Now you at 21. Dealer flips over his card. He had 20. It worked. But how often is that going to happen? My thoughts are, if it's a widow, okay, right? If she had her kid really, really, really young, all right, maybe give it a chance, because we all do really stupid things when we're young, But it's like the odds, to me, I look at percentages, right? Especially knowing how many people there are out there in the world, how many opportunities you have to find somebody that is not in that situation, right? If a woman has a kid and no man, to me, it's either she doesn't respect commitment, she cares more about herself than she does about her child, or she has really horrible taste in men. If it is the man's fault, she chose to have a child with a man who wasn't good enough to be a father. So it's like, that's poor decision-making process. And I feel like if she has a father in her life, he was probably trying to steer her in the other direction, and she wasn't trying to hear it. If she doesn't have a father in her life, she probably does not know how to deal with a man to begin with. And I really don't want to put myself in those shoes. And I've been there before, many, many times. I've done it, I've taken chances. And here's the other part of that. Now you end up bonding with some kid that now, once you're no longer in a relationship, now you can't see the kid anymore, and this kid still loves you.
Yep, and you still want to be around and chill and hang out with the kid, but the female's not going to be agreeable with that. But then it also goes to another point where that maybe the girl might not been even in your realm if she didn't have the kid. The kid might have been a sympathy factor for you that might have made you more warm-hearted to her bullshit and allowed you to overlook a lot of things. So it brings a lot, but at the same time, it may be what actually brings the bond together. But it's a hit or miss because at the end of the day, a lot of females move like dudes, and if you get a chick that move like a dude, well, guess what? You're not gonna understand why she's acting the way she's acting because you're gonna be like, why is she moving like this? Well, guess what? She's thinking just like, what the fuck are you doing? Come on, man. I got one headlight driving my back.
It's probably a single mom. Is it a Kia
Yeah,
with a bumper sticker on it?
nah, it's a Honda Odyssey with one headlight.
Oh, even better. Single mom with 7 kids.
That don't realize it's two lanes. Yeah, she don't realize it's two lanes. This is why you move to the side and both of us can fit at the same time. But
Pause.
she don't understand that.
Oh
So
man.
yeah, but most times when you deal with certain type of females and certain type of scenarios, I mean,
And
you'd be surprised how nonchalant and mediocre a lot of people are, a lot of things are.
exactly. But here's the thing too. Like I said, I've done it before. I'm not judging anybody. I've
Huh?
gone through the problems and it's just stuff that I don't want to have to deal with. I personally don't have any kids. So it's like I'm gonna now attach myself to somebody that has responsibilities that I don't have, first of all. Second of all, what I already mentioned about bonding with a kid that you got no legal right over. You could just break up one day and never be able to see that kid again. Third of all,
I mean,
as a
I've dealt with
man,
those type of scenarios. I even had the girl try to make the kids like feel like what I'm saying, like I was the problem. Like, oh yeah, it was
uh
this guy.
huh.
Nah, it wasn't you.
And
You was the
then,
problem.
and you
You
don't even want to defend yourself
know,
because now you're worried about talking bad about their mother till you don't want to talk bad to the kids about their mom. So you can't really defend yourself without
exactly.
telling them what she did, and you don't want to do that, you know. And then now you have the issue is I want to be the most important thing in my woman's life. Of course, I want to
Right.
be the most important thing in my woman's life. Now, if I have a child with this woman, I still be the most important thing in her life. I come first, then her, then the kids. But when it's not your kid, she's not gonna put you over her own child. And if she does, there's something wrong with that. You wouldn't even want that type of person in your life because she's not supposed to be putting somebody else over her own kids.
True. Then at the same time, though, you are the man and the leader of the pack, or how it's supposed to be. Doesn't matter who makes what money or what's going on as far as financial wise. Just in general, you are the man. You are the pack leader. You were supposed to be more respected, or you're supposed to be listened to a little bit more because you're supposed to be more level-headed, more, you know.
Exactly, but that's my whole point. Those are two things that don't fit together.
That's what I'm saying. So at the same time, though, now when you have females like that, sometimes they can't comprehend that shit because it's not in their realm of understanding. In their realm of understanding, you just a dude that they messing with, and they got all the power in the world. In their mind, it's their life. They're the catch. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And they're
In their
damaged, and,
it's
and
not
a
like
lot of
it's
them are
like
damaged because they're manipulated into thinking that they're better off leaving their man. And then once that happens, now they're in a bad spot. And another thing that I heard, I think this was that same Levi Nix dude, but another thing that I heard that made a lot of sense to me calls it Frankenstein syndrome, right? Where these women, they take the best traits from every man that they've ever had and put them all together, and now they want to find a man that has all of those with none of the negatives. Meanwhile, the older you get, the less value
I
you
like that
have on the dating marketplace. So it's like the first man that you get is the best man that you ever gonna get. It's only gonna go down from there.
one. Not if you're a man. If you're a man, you
No,
start
no, we're not
adding
talking about that. We're
value.
talking about the women, the single moms. Why
Okay.
are they all like that? They're leaving a perfectly good man thinking they're gonna be able to do better, but that's the best they're ever gonna be able to do. It's only gonna go downhill from there. Uh,
True.
unless the first shot was just such a horrible, really was such a horrible dude that anybody's gonna be better than that. You know what I'm saying? Realistically, and that's the thing too. It's like I'm not excusing this kind of behavior, but there's a lot of dudes that get pushed to just mistreating their girl because they're just sick of her. You know, whereas you shouldn't do that. You might as well just leave. You know what I mean? Like before you mistreat somebody. But it's like, you know, when you're such a pain in the ass and all you do is nag, it's like men are not looking for any kind of competition in their relationship. We're not looking for somebody that's gonna fight us at every turn. We're looking for someone that's gonna support us, that's gonna give us the emotional support that we need to go out there and risk ourselves and bust our ass and everything else like that. That's the reason I want that sandwich. That's the reason I want that back rub. That's the reason I want you to keep your mouth shut, because I'm gonna go out there and fight the world for us. When I get home, I don't need to fight you.
Yeah, and that, what the fuck are you smoking?
Got me a dry herb vape by Stores and Bickles, everybody. I'm not
Yeah,
sponsored,
but
but check
why
them
is that
out.
shit so big?
Huh?
Pause. Why is that shit so
Oh, this is the Stores and Bickle
heavy?
Mighty. It has like a. It's not really that portable, but it's good vape production. This is like they make a better one now. They make the Mighty Plus, but at the time when I bought this, it was the best one on the market as far as vapor quality and all of that stuff.
Mm. Okay, yeah, I was just wondering what the hell is that you put it. I mean, like, whoa, what is that? Okay, yeah. So what I was just basically getting at though is, yeah, I'm agreeing with you. What type of syndrome you said that was again?
Say that again.
What was the name of it? What was the name of the syndrome?
Oh, Frankenstein syndrome.
Yo, I think that's what it is. I think that they're looking for so much for the perfect man that no matter even what you do or how you do it, right? You could bring flowers every day. They don't care. That's irrelevant to them because there's something else you didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else did that. They're waiting for you to do that, and that's the reason why they moving and acting the way they acting with you. And I believe that's true. That's a fact because I got a lot of girls that I've dealt with that have that type of scenario. Like they tell you straight up and down, like yes, you could just see that there's a void in how and what actually gets them happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, say you used to be like, yo, let's go out with you, her, and the kids. What would make her more happy is if you just took her shopping, or if you just gave her cash outright. You get a better positive reaction than you trying to take the carrot and the kid out.
In the world we live in
And it's
today.
crazy because I've noticed that all females that I've dealt with that have kids are the same, do that exact same thing. Not all the same way. They're not all the same, obviously. They have differences, but
Exactly.
they do that particular one thing. That exact particular thing you were just talking about. They do that all the time. It would not matter to them if you brought them and the kids out. That doesn't give you like a tap on your scoreboard. It doesn't make them feel like, oh yeah, you're the cooler than what it is as far as
Exactly.
another dude. It's only about how you made them feel when you're with them, and that's it. It's not about the unit. Like you would take a sacrifice and all right, well it's a loud house, so what? It's okay. She got a kid. You know what I'm saying? She got a kid, so you will take certain things and allow that to happen. But they're not trying to hear that type of shit. They're saying you're supposed to take them as is, no matter what. They're not even supposed to get around you and try to improve
But
themselves.
you got to keep
Like I'm
improving
trying to improve
yourself,
myself.
though.
Yeah, exactly,
Hmm.
exactly, 100%, 100%. I've seen girls who are unhealthy doing unhealthy habits and be like, "You got to take me as is."
And look,
No, that's not
I
how that
was
works.
actually having
You
this
supposed to grow
conversation
together.
earlier. Here's another problem: is that all right? So how can I explain this? Try to think of the best way to explain this.
You let a girl tell me shit up and down. Why would I help you get something instead of just waiting for you to get it and then coming in after you already got it?
All right. Oh, here it is. Look. So
Why would you let me know that she wasn't doing it?
women, they tend to end up with the people that treat them like shit, for the simple fact that women, they want the man that's better than them, that's gonna upgrade them, a man that has options, a man that can do better, right? So now when a guy really likes her, the dude is gonna act like he really likes her, because we're now acting the way that we want to be treated. If there's a chick that's showing a lot of interest, it's gonna make you interested in her. So now the dude that likes a chick is gonna show a lot of interest, and that's gonna now push her away, because she thinks if you're showing all this interest subconsciously, if you're showing all this interest, that must mean you're not too good for her. and she don't want you unless you're too good for her. So the dude that's opening the doors, the dude that's doing all this, buying the flowers and everything, it bores her. She wants the dude that doesn't really need her, and that's the dude that's treating her like he don't need her.
I've run into girls like that, and I've run into girls where they want all of the attention. Where they want you to lay hands and feet on them. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
crazy.
But
Like, they
that's
want you
but
to
that's a
be behind them.
validation thing. They still don't respect you. They just want that from you. You know what I'm saying? And if you think about it, those ones that want all the attention, the ones that want all the attention, if you don't give it to them, they're gonna keep chasing it. But when you give it to them, they're still gonna complain, but they're gonna get bored.
True, true. But this is how you know it. You can gauge people to see who's no good and who's good, because these type of things is what you have to look for
Uh,
in people, and you can realize that when they judge you, but they don't judge themselves, that's a problem.
exactly.
Because like I can sit there and I'll tell somebody like, listen, man, I don't like this, but I can understand because I do A, B, and C as well. That I know people don't. You know what I'm saying? Like I could talk about myself in a bad light
Exactly.
and in a positive light, and I still can understand that sometimes I do things that I know is not agreeable with other people. You know what I'm saying? And I have to adjust that sometimes because this is the way you socialize. Is the only unless you're gonna be by yourself. Other than that, you can't be in a relationship faking the funk and acting like you're gonna assimilate because that's what it really is. You're assimilating to the other person. If you don't assimilate to the other person's standards, it's gonna be a problem. You know what I'm saying? And no matter where you at, you could be work in a hospital, you could work in the police department, you could work in the fire department, you could be in the army, you could be in prison. It's the same thing. You have to assimilate. If you do not assimilate to the social standard, then it's gonna be a problem, and then that's when you're gonna be end up
I
single.
keep going back
Because
to Levi Nicks, man. He
nobody's gonna
said,
want you.
listen, I keep going back to Levi Nicks. He always says, men will change their outlook to suit their environment. Women will change their environment to suit their outlook.
Correct.
And the same thing he said in the same light, he says, a man will sacrifice his happiness for his family. A woman will sacrifice their family for their happiness.
That I believe 100%.
Mhm.
100%. That's what it is.
Uh, and
But that's because they're good like that. Because you got to understand that this is how the culture has been for a few years now. It's been changing people's mind state and changing how people really look at the world.
mhm.
So now people are not moving the same because they're told not to move the same. You know what I'm saying?
And if you ask me,
It's a culture,
the whole
it's
goal
a culture
behind
where
the
violence
propaganda that
is
started
acceptable.
this was to destroy the nuclear family to begin with.
Of course. But imagine we're celebrating horse. Horism is cool.
Yup.
Imagine that. Think about that. Bless.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
So,
like,
so,
and it's
so
everywhere you look.
horism is cool,
And then
but
they
a dude
wonder why
having
the
that
young
female
men,
is
they
not
wonder
cool.
why the young men treat women like objects. Meanwhile, the women plaster themselves half naked all over social media.
All over everywhere is half naked. And then they selling a fantasy that's not really there. That's
Exactly.
the shit that I don't like. On
Exactly.
social media, especially where people sell this fantasy. They'll have like 10 pictures of themselves and that's it. And it's all selfies in the most beautiful light of
Uh
themselves
huh.
that you could ever find.
With
And
filters and
anything and
AI
when
touch
you go
ups.
that day, they look like shit. Huh?
With filters and AI touch ups and all of that.
Oh, yeah. Let's not even get into the filters and then changing the light and shit like that. Forget about the fat girls with the up high pictures. They only taking pictures in the angle. Like, come on, bitch, you know what it is.
No, but now,
Anybody that
they
takes those
have
type of
AI
pictures,
touch
if
ups
you
though.
do
But
it
now they have
right,
AI
do
touch ups.
it
They
right.
take a picture of themselves and they let the AI make them beautiful.
It's craziness.
Mm-hmm.
It's craziness because you basically saying that guys have to go out there and work hard to get themselves together, the mind, body, and soul, and a female, you know what I'm saying, she could come there with a fraud and sell a fraud to you.
Yep.
Sell you on makeup, sell you on eyelashes, sell you on all this sexy that they bring into the table and all other shit. And that's not really what how they are.
Exactly. It's crazy.
So it's okay for women to sell a fraud, but it's not okay. It's harder and it's not okay for men to live the same way.
Uh huh.
The more you look at it. Because even the dudes who don't got shit, they still have to sling dick.
How about this? How
No
about
matter
this?
how you look at it, they're laying it down on some fat chick or some old chick, you know what I'm saying, who's gonna supply them with the bread they need to do whatever they need to do. They go, I mean, they're funding.
Oh, wait. And as you speak about that, right? Let me tell you something. Here's a double standard, right? I know this is, I got a couple things that are going off the topic, but you reminded me, this is a crazy double standard, right? It's like when a man is not pleasing his woman, right? And and they want to always be like, oh, I got a headache, oh, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. You know, you're supposed to just respect that. But when you're doing what you're supposed to do, and the woman enjoys sex with you, and they want it more often than you do, and sometimes you got a headache, or sometimes you want to go to sleep, or sometimes you got something better to do, now all of a sudden you the most evil person in the world. They're not pretty anymore. You're not attracted to them no more. They're ready to go to therapy because you legit got a headache. You know what I mean? Like it's double standards all over the place.
No, they're ready to go fuck the dude from the neighborhood that they knew from 5 years before you that
Because
you
you
didn't even know
weren't
they
there
knew.
for me when I was ovulating.
Just because you didn't get at one particular moment at that one particular time in the exact way that they wanted you to be there.
Exactly.
If not, then you failed, and they'll run the whole game with you, the whole gauntlet with you for months. Meanwhile, just because you did that one thing, they already done fucked 2 or 3 other niggas, and then that's it. Now they already on the streets again.
Mm-hmm.
And now you sitting here trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Like you chasing her damn near at that point in time, and you don't realize that she been checked out a long time ago.
And here's
And
another.
instead of doing it real and keeping it real and be like, I checked her out, they're not gonna do that because they know that they look bad by saying that they do that.
Uh-huh.
They look horrible.
Uh-huh.
And at the same time, man, you gotta catch and watch, understand the females and their relationship with their kids as well. What
Yes.
type of relationship do they have with their kids?
Yes.
Because then you'll see what type of relationship they'll have with you.
Not only that, not just the relationship they have with you, but how they treat, how they are in general as a person. Because if
Mhm.
your kid's supposed to be the most important thing in your life, if she's using her kid as like a tool to get what she wants in any way, shape, or form, that lets you know everything you need to know.
Mhm. I think girls that don't even raise their own kids.
Uh huh.
And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, they family raise their kids and
Yep.
they just keep having kids and yeah, they act like, oh, my kids, my kids, my kids. But really, it's their mother, their pops, their fucking cousin, their auntie, they whoever the fuck
Exactly.
is watching the kids. You know what I'm
Their kids are the excuse for everything. Why they need, all of this extra
saying?
patience and everything.
Man, they're not with the kids 24 hours a day and really like there's few girls that I know that are single mothers. If they're a mother and they're young or something like that, or they have a kid, they're usually with the dude. You know what I'm saying? If they're single mothers, because the rest of the family watch the kids,
Uh,
they're never really exactly with the kid. You know what I'm saying? Even though it may seem like it, but it's not really how it's going down. It's more like the family's watching the kid,
uh-huh.
and they're not engaged with the kid. That's where you get the single mothers.
And
Or that's
I,
what I have noticed and found with single mothers.
I was with the single
Now they
mother.
can say, "Oh, dudes is this, dudes is that." Yeah, I hear you, but we don't have kids, so we have a little bit more time to play around. You know what I'm saying? And if you, as a person that has a kid, a male or female, doesn't matter if it's a single mother, it could be a single father. You have a kid, you have to have your shit together because now when you go into the marketplace, the people who don't have kids have more leeway to do things.
Yes,
They don't
exactly.
necessarily have all the things you think you need to have together. They
Uh-huh.
don't need to have all that stuff because they don't have no kids. So you can't even look at it the same. So people that have kids or females that have kids, when they put themselves on the market, or dudes that have kids and they put themselves on the market, you can't look for the same caliber as people. You gotta look for somebody that's, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't have high standards unless you're bringing so much to the table that's so much positive. You can't just have one positive or two positive. You
Uh,
gotta have an array of
well, I
positives.
mean, it's not
You know what
even
I'm
about
saying?
bringing to the table though. It's about what demand you're in. How high is your demand? So it's like the older
Mhm.
you are, the more kids you have, the less demand you're in. There's gonna be dudes out there that want you, and here's another problem that I see. There's gonna be dudes out there that want you, but they're not the dudes that you want. But the attention that you get from those dudes makes you think that you're something special to have, and that all it is waiting for the right man to come along. You know, so that's where the disconnect is. Like the people that are hollering at you, those are the people that you're worth. Those are the people that are on your level. That's why they're trying to get with you. You know, but you don't like them. You want a different level dude, but those dudes are never gonna look in your direction. So you're delusional. And you're delusional because the ones that you don't like keep giving you the attention. That's your pot.
They'll sit there with a dude that's genuine with them, and who was supposed to be their real soulmate, they'll turn them down because they're just in a fucked up mood, and because or because their mouth is crazy and they just talk crazy,
Uh-huh.
and the dude is thinking like, yeah, nah, fuck it, next one, on to the next one, and you don't realize or they don't realize that if y'all was to actually try, you actually was built for each other, but because of that one little incident, because you was acting the way you was acting, you know, it just turns people off.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of people they get turned off with that high and mighty ghetto fucking you know what I'm saying, hood booger shit. Like that's not sexy. It's not attractive. That's not what dudes are looking for. You know what I'm saying? Dudes are looking for girls that are articulate, but at the same time they shut the fuck up, and not like how we not in the manner of how I said shut the fuck up. Well, yeah,
Exactly.
shut the fuck up.
But
You know what I'm saying?
exactly, that's the thing. We're talking to each other right now, getting straight to the point. You would have been a little more gentle if you were talking to a woman. That's the thing. Women think that equality, they're not all. Remember, people, anybody that's watching this right now, when we say things like this, we're talking about the stereotype. We're talking about the majority. We're talking about why the world looks the way that it does. There are exceptions to the rule, but unfortunately, they're usually taken at a very young age, and they don't get their man don't lose them. You know.
It's about statistics. It's about the facts, the numbers. Numbers don't lie.
Exactly.
Everybody understands it's the numbers. The
Exactly.
numbers show that this is what it is. It is what it is. It's not me saying it, it's the numbers. So
Exactly.
now we're just reacting to the numbers and having our opinion on what the numbers are saying. And this is what the numbers are
But
saying,
I'm
and this is
just
our opinion on the
reiterating to
numbers.
the people that we're not saying that there's no such thing as an exception. We're not saying that there aren't women out there that don't fit this description at all. We're not talking about you. And if you're one of those women, you should be seeing the same thing that we see. You know, you should be cringing when you look around at your fellow women in the world and see the way that they operate.
You think about what women want men to do. They want them to provide, protect, right? They want them to be physically capable. You know what I'm saying? Now, a guy, what does guys really want from women? You to cook, you to do certain things. Like, I mean, can I have an intellectual conversation with you sometimes? I mean, what when people with their man or with their significant other, whatever the case may be, what do you feel like you should have as a relationship with that person? Like, do you just wing it and like whatever comes, or do you have a plan? Like, this is how me and my significant other should be have connection. This is how our connection should be. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
No, they just winging it. They just in it. They just like whatever happens, happens. Oh, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Because
Okay, so now you should be mad at getting that same reaction back from other people because this is how you already set up the situation.
mm-hmm.
You set it up as a whatever. So since it's a whatever a situationship, or uh, you know, every once in a blue something happens. Well, how are we going to take you seriously? And how can men take a lot of females seriously? A lot of females that are out there that they're not really ready for actual commitment. They're really just playing the game. And instead of just saying that this is what it is, this is the game, but they want girlfriend treatment.
And here's the problem with
And
that
that's
too. Here's the problem with that too. Women, when they have sex with somebody, particularly when they orgasm, they release a chemical called oxytocin that causes them to bond with the person that they're sleeping with. The more people that they sleep with, the less the effect that has on them, right? And now the less likely they are to stay in a relationship. That's not the case with us. You know, we have a little bit more of a logical brain, and we're a little bit more wired to protect and provide. So our commitment means more to us than that. So when we decide to make a commitment, it takes a lot. to get us to break the
And
commitment.
that's why a lot of dudes treat women the way they treat them, because after a few women that act like that, then now you have no choice but to just treat them like who gives a fuck. And that's not necessarily how you feel, which is the best part about it. It's just that you're trying to protect yourself. And to
Exactly.
protect yourself, you can't commit until you see so much commitment that you're like, all right, cool, I can mess with them. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I approach everything. Like most females that probably sit there like, oh, I can't fucking do this because of that, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I hear you. I'm gonna take my time though. I'm not rushing into this shit, and within however long or that you feel is comfortable, you want to feel comfortable with, I should jump out the window in all shapes, form, and aspects. No, I'm going to take my time to when I'm feel comfortable to do certain things.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And you should be able to maintain yourself and whatever you got going on in your life at the same level the whole time that we're dealing with each other. You know what I'm saying? Because I always, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I've always been at a certain level. So you got to be at a certain level all the time. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
And that's the problem is
And
that
then
women
don't
are never
forget the
taught
times
that.
when,
We're taught as
yeah,
men how we have to be, how we have to treat a woman, what it's like to be a good husband, a good father. Women are not taught how to do any of that. They're taught that their value just
mhm,
comes with being born. And that's, let me tell you something else. That's how you can tell, how many are like that. Because when you go on one of these dating websites or dating apps or whatever, and you start flipping through them,
okay.
you gotta see how many of these women do not have a bio. What does that tell you right there? They don't feel like they have to bring anything to the table but the way that they look. That's all you need. You see my pictures. Why do I have to write anything about myself?
Hmm.
Think about that one.
Or even better, right? Why does it have to be that we have to do, go, or have things already there to bring to the table instead of going and meeting each other and it's feeling each other out first?
Exactly. That's why
Why
that's
are we
why the
talking about
best thing to
feeling
ask
the
a chick
first
out
date?
is on a coffee date. Because if she turns that
Yeah,
down,
we
then
need
you
to
don't
talk.
want
We
that
need
bitch
to talk.
anyway.
And then here's another thing for me too, because me first meeting somebody, I don't like maybe chilling with them another day. I don't care about smoking, but I like to smoke because now I can really get my mind going and really start asking questions about them. And I want them to just talk. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? Because now I want them to ask me questions about myself as well. A lot of females will sit there and just they want to talk about themselves so much, which is cool with me because I like to see what your story is and see what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, now you'll sit there and talk to somebody, and they'll be sitting there telling you their whole life story. But then when it comes down, when you're done with the conversation or done with that aspect of it all, they don't ask you no questions. They're not even curious.
Yes.
They're just so narcissistic. I've gone out with a lot of girls that's like that. A
Uh-huh.
lot of, I'm talking about girlfriends. I'm talking about girls I've taken out, like going out on dates, like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen a lot of girls like that. It makes me laugh in the inside. 'Cause I'll sit there and be like, okay, okay, told me their whole life story, but don't ask me not one or two questions about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's okay with me just telling them certain things, and they don't go deeper into it. Like I have a deep story. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
And
once you
then
start doing it, to that story, oh wow, because everything starts to connect differently to you know what I'm saying, different scenarios, different situations, and time frames in my life.
uh-huh.
So
And then you got the other end of the spectrum where like every question you ask gets met with a one-word answer.
oh, I hate those. I hate people like that. You know,
Uh-huh.
because I want somebody to go off and go on a rant. You know why? Because I want to see the real. I don't want to see you to show me what you think is the best of you. I want you to show me what you think is real you,
Mm-hmm.
the real you. People, yo, you know what's crazy? Girls be wearing a lot of makeup and don't realize that guys don't even like makeup. I don't like girls that wear makeup,
Uh-huh.
and I don't like girls that take care.
And they
And
get
me, like,
mad at you. They get mad at you if you tell them that.
mind you, I know a lot of girls that I've actually dated that were so pretty that didn't need that stuff. But then when they go out, they love to put 1,000 pounds of makeup on them and fucking eyelashes and
Uh-huh.
wig and weave and you sit there like, yo, what the fuck? Like, you don't even know you look good in your sweatpants.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand it. I can't comprehend that type of stuff.
Makes
You know
absolutely
that
no
that's the only
sense.
thing that gets me about certain females. But other than that, as far as single months, this nigga's really on. Yo, this dude is damn. He's really grinding out here.
Who?
I would turn the camera on, but I'm not gonna do that to him. Yeah, he out here on a bicycle in New York in 30-degree weather doing Uber Eats, I guess. And I mean, like, I'm all the way back in. All right, so I'm all the way up, all the way up into like, you know what I'm saying, like Buck Broadway, the back blocks back there,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm a block off of a main road. You know what I'm saying? He had to do some pedaling to get up here,
Oh wow.
and he's on a pedal bike, not like one of them electric joints where you feel like once or twice and it just drives by itself. You know what I'm saying? No, he's on a pedal
You
bike.
sure it's a
That's why he's
you sure
looking
it's
at
a
him like, yo,
pedal
what
bike
the
or it's a e-bike with pedals on it?
No, bro, he's a pedal bike, bro.
Guarantee
I'm
you,
looking at him.
guarantee you, I guarantee you, he dating a single mom, and he got to go out there and earn money to feed her kid and buy her get her nails done, and B he want to get up out of that house so he don't have to deal with her mouth. I guarantee it. That's the only reason to be out there riding a pedal bike doing Uber Eats in that weather.
We're not gonna put that on all single mothers, but we're gonna say maybe he's just got to the country and that's the only job he can get, or maybe he's just down in his luck. You know what I'm saying? And they allow him to do that because they definitely don't allow people who have certain records go on those type of apps.
Well,
Mostly
if he's
immigrants or
if he's anything
whatever.
like
Like,
if he's anything like some people I know, if he's anything like some people I know, he's only working so he can slip on some ice.
yeah, more right. But yeah, man, it's like I don't know. I feel as though when it comes to relationships, people need to learn how to compromise and how to adjust and assimilate to somebody else's program. Because sometimes somebody else is running a better program than you. Yeah, you might have some ideas, but they have a better organizational structure, and they're better at structurizing or how to say this, putting together and formulating a good proper program in order for you to run this program and become successful in a together format. You know what I'm saying? Now, sometimes the together format is what really is the problem. The problem is like we've been talking. In our opinion, mostly single women, right? Single mothers, they do not want to assimilate to a together formatted program where you guys are together, working together, come to the table together, and then push. You know what I'm saying? They rather it where you flood them with everything, and then they're like, I don't know, how to explain like the princess of the fucking, I don't know. I be trying to figure it out myself as to what they really be thinking. And it's not just one female, it's like multiple that I've run into dating world, relationships, family, friends. You know what I'm saying? Like there, some reason, it's the same thing when it comes, and they're all single mothers.
That's what I'm saying, man. We know there's diamonds in the rough out
It's the
there, but
same.
on a pure numbers level, that's exactly what I come across. So, you heard it here first, peoples. Should you date a single mom? I can't answer that. I've done it before. I don't want to do it again, but I probably will. This has been the
Of
first
course it is.
episode of the Unc Podcast at Let Unc Tell It. I'm Unc, that's Cam. Join us for the next episode, people. Don't forget to like,